All right, so the first thing I do is take off the saddlebag, take off this little plastic side cover it pulls off, and I take out this little red fuse right here, my main fuse, before I do anything electrical on it. Video of me installing these Harley heated grips on my 21 Road Glide Special. As you know, the Special don't come with the heated grip. The Limit is due, and I should have just bought a Limited, because by the time I get done with this, it's pretty much going to be unlimited as it is. I literally have a full engine guard and lower fairings coming for the bike. Actually, they're already here, they're over there. And as soon as my fairing brackets come in, I'll be installing that. Anyways, there's not a real good video on YouTube that I found of installing these on a Road Glide. I found videos of people installing them on Batwing fairings, street glides, electric glides. And I've also seen conflicting things about the wiring. I've seen some videos say you need a wiring harness from like the dash down to the battery underneath the seat. Some saying you don't. I went to Harley. The parts guy at Harley, he has no freaking clue. I asked service about this, and he says everything I need should be in here. Now, the other thing that surprised me is the service guy at Harley said that these were externally wired hand grips, and he said that only internally wired heated grips Harley brand has, or that Harley sells, are the Kahuna hand grips. He said that this wire, one of these wires right here, goes on the outside, and he says that, oh yeah, you can run it on the inside, you just have to like drill a hole and sand it and some other stuff. And I just don't think that's right. Maybe it is. I'm sure he knows more than me, but I have a hard time believing that Harley grips for the bike have just a random external wire. And if you look right here, let me get this open. This wire right here that he says goes on the outside, that's right there in this channel where this fits. And if you notice, there's nowhere for it to go. So we're gonna find out together. So I'm just throwing this video together to answer my own question and maybe to help anybody else who has a 21 or 2019. I mean, they're all pretty much the same. Special who wants to install heated grips. All right, so the first thing is to get your ignition out, turn it to fork lock position. There's a little metal tab underneath here in the corner. Just get you a little flat screwdriver like this, press it in there. Be sure to put your key in it. And when you put your key in it, you're going to turn it counterclockwise, and it's going to lift that out. Now, underneath here, this piece right here, this is just a cover. There's a little plastic tab underneath it. Be sure not to break it. You just push it gently in after you pull this out, and this will come off as well. Okay, so after this ignition, you just pull it straight out, and I'm gonna set this to the side. I set my pieces out in order that I take them off. I'm gonna take this spring off here to the side. This piece here, you might have to get a wrench and loosen it. Then I'm gonna undo that. Hopefully without, there we go. And take that off, just like that. I wanna set these to the side, just like that. And then right here, like I said, right here, there's a little plastic tab. Mine just pulled off because I've already almost have broken mine, as you can see right there. So that's plastic, don't break that. These are easy, these are cheap to replace, but there it is. After you got those set to the side, you got two Torx head screws. This is a T25. Just be sure to take that out. This is gonna lift straight out, and you got some wires in the back to unplug. So I just took out those two screws, and as you lift this up and off, there's a plug right there with two plastic holders. Just take that off carefully, don't break those. Also on the back here, you have two of these cables that I've just tucked in, but they're plugged in there and there. These are dummies. And unless you have stuff plugged into your auxiliary, I just left them unplugged from when I did my handlebars, and I just tucked them in there like that so they're out of the way. That way when I take this off, I don't have to worry about unplugging them and stuff. So, okay, so essentially now let's do the right side, and this will be easier. You have to take this off and undo this, and then your grip is going to slip right off. The throttle control in there already has the plug-in for the new one, so I'll show you how to plug that in. But for right now, take these off and take these off carefully and pull this off, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, now that I got the assembly off there, you can just take this, pull it straight off. Now this piece right here, if it will focus, this is a little rubber piece that need to take a little small screwdriver and pull that out, okay? All right, now that you pulled out that little black piece right here, you'll see that's the plug-in for the new grip, okay? And the new grip, you need to take this little end cap off. Let me get this focused. You take this little end cap off, and you'll see the plug, and it only goes in there, obviously, one way. So if you have fingernails, just get in there, pull that cap off. If not, use a screwdriver. Be careful. Now, I'm going to pull this off here in just 1 second. Okay, so I was able to pull that end cap off this grip with my fingernails. You'll see in there, there's the plug. Get you some tweezers or some needle nose pliers and adjust that and make sure you have your grip oriented the correct way. And what you're going to do is you're going to slip this over and plug this in into that spot. So once again, I don't have a helper, so let me shut this off and do this real quick. Now that I got that plugged in there, make sure you get your logo here or whatever it is oriented the way you want. You can pull this out a little bit and twist it how you need to and push it back on. I'm going to put my assembly back up here, so at least my right side will be done, and we'll move on to the left side, which is a little bit more complicated. All right, so I have the right side put back together, put the cap back on, put all the housing back on. Time to take the left one off and take the grip off this. Now the left one, you're going to have a cable that runs through the handlebar and comes out here. And if you have stock bars, this is going to be a lot easier. Or if you're changing your handlebars to begin with, it's going to be easier because I've already changed my handlebars, and now I have to compete not only with this meat hook curve here, but also with the cables from the controls here that are already in there. And I'm really not wanting to unplug these, pull these out, and put everything back in. So I'm going to see if I can take the vacuum or the air compressor and get a piece of paracord through there or through here and tape the cable that I need to and see if I can't get it through there. And I'll show you guys a trick on the easiest way to get your cables, whether it's these stock cables or the new cables, through a meat hook curve. And it kind of, sometimes it takes two people, but I'll show you an easy trick. Real quick, the way you get your odometer cover off is you lift up on it ever so slightly and it pops up like that. And you'll put a flathead screwdriver underneath here and gently pry and pull this straight out this way, okay? Okay, now that you have this housing off here, you're just gonna pull this grip straight out like that. And that's all there is to it. Now, be sure this right here is a little smooth. I saw one video where, yeah, there's some burrs in there. So I'm gonna take a round file and smooth that out a little bit before I start running this cable through. Now, this one here, this cable that comes with the kit, I believe is the one that you're going to run through the bars, okay? And it's about the only cable about this length. If you have probably like 14-inch, 16-inch, anything taller than that, you're probably going to need an extension because the grip here that this plugs into, let's see if I can get in here. This is where it's plugging into, is this grip right here. So that's about, 2 inches or so. And of course it's going to give you about, I guess, 4 inches. So about 7 inches in is about how much you have here. And then however long this cable is providing you. So it's probably going to start like right there. And it has to go all the way through and out there. And it's going to plug in to this plug right here. Mine wasn't plugged into anything. Some people say it's plugged into a dummy plug. But if you follow this assembly, okay, this whole wiring harness will come out your right side. And this is what supplies power to your right grip. Okay, it's already there, it's already wired for it. So you just have to supply power from the left grip down through the handlebar into that, okay? So I'm going to file this down real quick, and I'm going to try either get a vacuum or air compressor, get my paracord through here, and get this attached to it so I can go ahead and pull this through, okay? All right, so what I did is I went and got my shop vac. I had to take this off, which is just held by a real small clip up here at the top. So just put a flat screwdriver in there, and it goes like this, okay? So y'all know. Just get a flat screwdriver, gently pry that off. And then I put the vacuum hose up over this, and I covered this hole here with my hand, and I just fed the paracord in through there, and now it's here. So what I'm going to do now is take the cable here that I have, make sure I get the right plug in, and I'm going to tape it. Hold on, let me get this untangled. And I am going to tape the correct end, the one that's going to plug in to that gray wire that's up here. And I'm going to tape it probably like several inches, like 4 inches. That way you don't pull off that connector there, okay? So I'm gonna cover this in copious amounts of electrical tape, and then the trick is to use wire lube, electrician's wire lube, and it pulls through in a breeze. So let me get this taped up and I'll show you. So I didn't have well, I do have electrical tape. I just didn't feel like going out to my truck and getting it right now. So I wrapped this with Gorilla Tape, and you see that I wrapped it several inches. That way when I start pulling on the cable, on the paracord, it's not gonna pull off the cable and it's not gonna kink it. This is the wire lube that I use. I just got this off Amazon. And I'm going to put a good amount in my glove here, and as I pull this through with the wire lube like this, it's going to help it glide, especially through that meat hook angle there, until it comes out there. All right, so let me pull this through real quick and we'll go from there. So a little change in plans. Earlier I said I was going to pull it through this way, back out that way. It didn't work out, so what I did was I took the vacuum again, and I actually attached the cable to the end of the paracord, and I started the paracord through here and used the vacuum to suck all this out, and then put the wire lube on it and then pulled it through. But it all worked out. So right there's the end that I'm going to plug into, where is it? This right here, and that's going to supply power to my right grip. And then I'm going to plug in my left grip right here and put this whole assembly back on, and I'll show you what to do with the power cord. Okay, so the short end of the cable, or the short end of the grip, plugs into that end of the cable. Now I can just gently push this back into there. Careful, careful, careful. Anyways, I'm gonna have to pull some slack out of that to get this on there. But anyways, after I get the grip back up here, I can put the assembly back on and I can start putting this back. Okay, so I got your control assembly back on here. I don't have it tightened down yet because I'm going to straighten up the bike and make sure that my levers are angled the way I like them. And then I'm going to run this power cord around here, connect it to this cable and run it down. And at any point in time, you could have taken off the seat and the tank, which you're going to have to do. I don't know why I didn't do it, you know, all at once. Probably because I just want to get the controls done. But let me get these controls set back to where they were, and we'll get the seat and tank taken off, and we'll get the power hooked up. All right, time to take off the seat and gas tank. I already took off the seat. Mine just unscrews right there. You will eventually have to get to this battery, and by doing that, you'll undo this, and you'll just pull this ECM out, and this cover pops off, and you'll be able to get to your positive terminal over here. But to get the gas tank off, up here, right there, these are just little rubber covers, and they just pull off, get you the appropriate socket size, undo those on both sides, undo this, follow your plugs right here, unplug those, follow this. This is just a tube. You can just, I'm sorry, this right here is just a overflow. You can just unplug, you just pull it out right there. And then to get your gas off, you're going to pull up on this and pull down on that. Make sure you get your rag to catch the little gas that dribbles out there, okay? And then I'm going to set this to the side. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so first of all, correction, there's 2 bolts right here that hold the gas tank on, and once you get those off, along with those 2, it lifts right off. Because I know somebody's going to correct me, but I have faith that you can figure it out. So I've taken off this cover here. I moved my ECM so I can get to my positive terminal on the battery. We're going to get that in a second. I need to take this cover off so I can run this power cable down underneath it and over here to this. Essentially what we're doing is we're going to unplug this guy right here, which is plugged into a dummy, and we're going to plug the power cable into it. Now, what Harley doesn't tell you is that you need another part. You need this general wire harness, and the part number is right there. It is 692-01599A, and you need this to plug your power cable and to plug it into the other side. All right, so you buy your heated grips, you need that too. So I'm going to take off this, and then I'm going to show you where to plug that harness into. Okay, so I got this cover off and everything. I got the battery ready. I zip tied the power cable, as you see here, along the clutch cable down through here, and I actually followed the clutch cable all the way up until this point. Now make sure you leave enough slack so that you can turn the handlebars freely and everything. I made sure I left plenty. I got a zip tie right there I need to cut off, and I want to put this wire inside that wire trench, okay? And I'm having it come down here. Now, this is where that $30 wiring harness comes into play, okay? This piece right here, all right, this end is going to plug into this. You're going to unplug this. This is just a dummy. You're going to unplug it, and it's going to plug in there. All right? These, here, I got too much going on here in the screen. Okay. Here, let me set this one down. All right, so once again, this end here is going to plug in into this right here. All right? It's the only one. Now, the other end, these 3 wires, are going to splice into the 3 wires that came off your grip, okay? Red to red, black to black, orange, white striped to purple, okay? That's the only weird thing, is purple to orange, okay? These other 2 plugs on this are just dummies, unless you want to have a heated seat or heated gear that uses these plugs. You just cap them and they're there, okay? I will eventually get a heated seat, so this comes in handy. The other weird curveball is this piece that came with that wiring harness, okay? This little red end here and it's not going to focus. This little red end here, focus, is going to plug in to that where that little white stub is. So you're going to unplug this, all right? As soon as I figure it out, I think it's a squeeze. Yep, squeeze. All right, you're going to unplug this. You're going to pull that out, this little black piece here. You're going to pull that out, and you're going to put this red insert where that white one is. You're going to pull that white one out, and you're going to put the red one in there. And you're going to connect the other end of this to your positive terminal. Okay? I know it's black, but it's going to the positive terminal because it's power. Okay? So remember, this goes where that little white stub is. That's going to plug into this. This 3 wires up here are going to splice into wherever I put the end of the power cable. And this little sucker is going to go on your positive terminal. So let me do that and I'll get back to you. Okay, so for this part, you got to pull off this black piece here, get a pick, pull up this blue piece here, and then get a small screwdriver, and you'll lift that little white piece. You'll pull it straight out, and then that white plastic piece can come straight out. Now you're gonna put your red piece in there and reassemble it. Okay, so I connected all the wires, red to red, black to black, orange to purple. Like I said, I got the red wire plugged. You can't see because of that sheath right there, and got this. So I shoved all the excess wire the best I could into this little empty cavity right here. And now I'm going to put this wire back into this wire trench, put everything back together, plug the stuff in, and try her out. So pretty much just reverse process everything else. All right, guys. So as you can see, I got her all back together. I did just go ahead and plug in the instrument cluster before I put the tank and seat back on, and turned on the bike and turned on the handlebars. And thank God they work. So anyway, sorry for the video if it seemed disorganized and if I seemed rushed. About halfway through this project, I wanted to be done with it. Also didn't have anybody filming, but that is it. They work. I like it. Can't wait to use them this weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, as I ride up 3 hours from Memphis to Illinois. So anyways, a little bit about my bike. Yes, it's dirty. Yes, my garage is dirty. It is a Road Glide special. I should have bought a limited because I literally have a full engine guard and lower fairings coming for the bike. And I put stage 1 exhaust on it. I put the Screaming Eagle air intake, as you can see. And these are the Tab Zombie 2-to-1-to-2 headers, cat delete. And these are the Tab Zombie 4.5-inch slip-ons with baffles. Tab Zombies with baffles. And those are the wrong tips, by the way. I got the backslash tips coming in. They ordered the wrong ones. These are 12-inch KST handlebars. These, I believe they're called the Double Trouble. They are a 1-piece. I don't like the 3-piece. And that's a Road Glide limited seat. And that's the tour pack that I've added. And those are passenger floorboards I've stolen off that bike over there, which is my 04 Electroglide. Technically my wife's 04 Electroglide that she's learning to ride on. So guys, hope this video helped. Like I said, I couldn't find any good videos with specifically a 21 Road Glide, or any Road Glide for that matter, on how to install Harley heated grips. Now, the Kahuna, I don't know how you pronounce them, heated grips, they're internal. They don't have this external cable. I did not know that when I bought these. I didn't know that these were external. After I got them home, got the package open and started fooling with this, it was too late. I'm like, I'm not returning these. I'm not going to fool with it. It's going to have to stay that way. And at this point, I really don't care. Okay, I'm not changing these out. But I cranked it up. It works. These are already getting warm. Hope that helps. And my light's dying. So thanks for watching.